school students interested in maritime careers. That's jobs having to do with how goods travel. Sometimes it's by the sea, like international trade, transportation, and logistics. But tough economic times could be hampering some of their goals. ITEP's CEO Carol Rowen is here to tell us more. Thank you, Carol, for going on camera with me.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
No problem. Tell us what ITEP stands for.
It stands for International Trade Education Programs.
Mm-hmm. And how did you come up with that?
It wasn't brain surgery. I was a commissioner with the Port of Los Angeles for 8 years, mm-hmm. and realized that the children in the high school students in the low-income communities around the port knew nothing about the port, and I was looking for a name, and we were going to introduce kids to careers in international trade. Okay. So I said, well, okay, we'll call it International Trade Education Programs.
Well, that makes perfect sense to me. Now, you've worked with a number of area high schools as well, yes. And this is something that even the San Gabriel Valley could benefit from. I think you're centered in Glendale, but could the San Gabriel Valley benefit from this?
Yes, anywhere that transportation corridors exist, and nowadays they exist all over. If you are on the freeway, you're next to someone who's transporting food or goods from overseas or from back east or from the Port of Los Angeles or the Port of Long Beach. And that's what we want to do. We want to introduce, these are high-paying careers, but children have to learn, they have to stay in school.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of careers are we talking about? I know generally we said transportation logistics, but can you be a little more specific? Like what kind of, you place interns too, right?
Yes, we do.
So
between the 11th and 12th grade during that summer. Well, let me go back for a second. The people in the maritime trade industries were complaining for years that they didn't have an educated workforce. Mm-hmm. And that was because we have a high dropout rate in high schools. Mm-hmm. It really is unconscionable to have that.
In California?
Well, not only in California, but of course I'm interested in local mm-hmm. communities, mm-hmm. in low-income mm-hmm. schools, and that's where the heaviest dropout rates are. And the kind of careers that they can have, when you think of warehousing, you think of somebody doing a forklift or doing heavy lifting, and yeah, those are the startup jobs. Mm-hmm. Those are the entry-level jobs for maybe students who didn't graduate. Mm-hmm. But any job you can think of, finance, insurance, skill levels in management, mm-hmm. distribution, dispatch, there are so many diverse careers that these students can go get into.
Yeah, and now you're talking about the dropout rate and all of that. Now we're looking at all of the state budget issues, and yes. that translates down to the local budget issues for schools as well. Now this could, cause a damper, right, on what you're trying to do with getting kids placed here?
It is, because we bring the business community into the schools, because students need today, we didn't worry about relevant education. When we were young, we just went to school and we did whatever the teacher told us to do. But we have found that when businesses participate with the students, they want to graduate. Well, what kind of a message are we giving them? You can graduate, but we're going to cut back on the freshman entry. Now, the students that we work with, mm-hmm. they can't go home and say, well, Dad, I'm going to have to apply to an out-of-state school at out-of-state tuition. They need the opportunity to go on and have a higher education, if they want it, here. Right here in California, right here in Los Angeles.
Okay, and now people can get in touch with you to
yes.
get internships scheduled and placed in these maritime careers.
Well, what they can get in touch with us for, Tami, is to find out how they can change their high school, okay. how we can bring businesses to help them graduate more students.
Very good. Thank you so much for going on camera with me. I think your website is ITEPINC, ITEPinc.org.
www.ITEPinc.org. ITEPinc.org.
Perfect, and people can reach you through that, and they can call us too if they have any questions on how to contact you.
And thank you again very much for having me on.
No problem. Great job. Thanks for being here, Carol.